Good day, students. I hope you are all safe and healthy at your place and preparing very well for your board exams. Today, we are going to take up another important topic from Business Studies, Chapter 5 Organizing. Till now, we have studied about the concept, importance, and process of organizing. And we have also studied about the structures like the divisional and the functional structures. In continuation with this, we are going to take up today the types of organizations. In this video, we are going to take up the meaning, advantages, disadvantages, and comparison between the two. So let's start with this video. Dear students, you must have seen your parents, your uncle, and your neighbors going to their place of work. Can they go to their office as and when they like, or they can leave as and when they want? No, they have to follow a certain pattern and follow certain rules and regulations. And if they don't follow those rules, then they may face certain penalties also. And contrary to this, if you want to go to your friend's house, do you require any permission? No. So we can say there are two type of organizations that are existing in our society. We can name them as formal organizations and the informal organizations. Students, first of all, we are going to study about the formal organization. You must have seen people working in school, colleges, universities, hospitals, factories, companies, but how will make it out that they are working in formal organization? First of all, we should know the meaning of this. Now, the formal organizations are intentionally created by the management for the smooth functioning of the organization. In this, each and every person's duties are defined, their authority, responsibility, their accountability, and relationship among the various employees is described by the top management. They have certain set pattern at what time they have to report in the organization, at what time they can depart. Everything is defined by the organization. If the people are working in this set pattern, so we can say that they are working in a formal organization. In order to define an organization as a formal one, certain features should be present there. The first feature of formal organization is that they are intentionally created for the achievement of organizational goals. In this, each and every person knows about his duties, authorities, and responsibilities. Clarity among the people result in the achievement of organizational goals in a better manner. Second feature of formal organization is coordination. Organization is not a single unit. There are a number of departments existing in it like purchase, production, marketing department and sales department. For achieving goals, coordination is very much necessary among them. Formal organization through well-defined jobs, superior subordinate relationship, clarity regarding authority and responsibility ensures coordination among various departments. The third feature in the sequence is communication. In this, whatever information flows, it flows through scalar chain. Whatever information is given in a written form and therefore it is authentic. Now, as far as the advantages of formal organizations are concerned, we all know the main purpose of formal organization is the achievement of goals of the organization in effective and efficient manner. In formal organizations, jobs, duties, responsibilities, relationships are clearly defined, and all this results in the achievement of the goals in effective manner. Also, in formal organization, there is no duplication of work, there is proper division of work, allocation, which results in proper management of work, and everyone knows work he has to do, and there is no wastage of resources and time. Stability is also one of the advantages of formal organization. With proper defined jobs, clarity in relationship, proper plans, standards, goals, All this leads to stability in organization. The next feature of formal organization is unity of command. In formal organization, unity of command is maintained through scalar chain. It clearly specifies the relationships among various job positions and the nature of their interrelationship. This clarity, who has to report to whom, helps manager to unify the efforts of the group, and hence it helps in achieving the goal. The last feature of formal organization that it is very easy to fix up the responsibility. From the very beginning, we know that in formal organization, the jobs, duties, authorities, responsibilities are clearly defined. Therefore, in case there is any problem, it is very easy to locate the problem and fix up the responsibility. Now we are going to take up the disadvantages of formal organization. As we all know that good communication skills are key to success, but in formal organization the communication passes through number of channels and mainly scalar chain is followed for passing the information. Therefore, in this process, it takes a lot of time resulting in delay in decision making. The second disadvantage is that it's very rigid. For working in formal organization, there are certain prescribed rules and regulations that are to be followed. Plans, standards, all are fixed by the top management and therefore you can't go beyond them, resulting in rigidity. The next disadvantage is that conflicts. Many a times the individual may pay more attention to their own interest rather than the interest of the organization, and this may result in conflict between the workers and the management. In continuation with the disadvantages of formal organization, the next one is the lack of initiative. This may be due to the fact that formal organization doesn't provide adequate recognition to creative talent since it doesn't allow any deviations from rigidly laid down policies. So no one likes to take any type of initiative. Now the next disadvantage is that they don't understand the human relationship. This is because in formal organization, more emphasis is laid on work, on achievement of goals, rather than on interpersonal relationship among the employees. They don't pay any attention to individual problems. Dear students, you must have seen your parents coming to your home, spending time with your family, and gradually they become your family friends. Mainly, the informal organization is created for fulfilling our social and psychological needs. Informal organization originates automatically from within the formal organization when people interact beyond their officially defined roles. Informal organization originates from within the formal organization because of personal interaction among employees. You will normally see people with common interest, hobbies form a group. Therefore, you never plan an informal organization, but it is automatically created and doesn't have any structure that is to be followed. Informal communication. In this, there is no written rules and regulations that are to be followed. Group norms serve as a standard of behavior. People may communicate in any manner as they like, and information may flow in any direction. Now, what is the purpose behind the informal organization? The main purpose is that, as we all know, all humans are social beings and there are certain social and psychological needs. In order to fulfill these needs, we all require informal groups. There are no fixed rules that are to be followed in informal organization. In this, people are free to communicate with one another irrespective of their status level. There are no rules that are to be followed in informal organization. Students, now let's take up the advantages of informal organization. The main advantage of this is that it helps in fulfilling our social needs. All human beings have certain social needs like need of a family, friends, relationship, love, sport, and informal organization plays a major role in fulfilling all these needs. The next one is that it is quite flexible. No fixed rules and regulations are there that are to be followed. You can change them according to your needs, requirement, and conditions. Therefore, informal organization is very much flexible. Now, the communication is also much more faster in informal organization. In this, you don't require any chain for communication. The information travels much more faster as compared to formal organization. Mainly, communication takes place verbally, and people talk freely, irrespective of their levels at which they are working. Informal organization also fills up various inadequacies of formal structure. By incorporating with informal groups, managers can take full advantage of knowing the real feedback of employees on various plans and policies. Now, as far the disadvantages of informal organizations are concerned, the biggest disadvantage is that it creates humors. There is no official chain for communication, and also the information flows in all direction. This leads to humors. Now, the second disadvantage is that resistance to change. In case the formal organization wants to bring any change in the organization, then the informal groups may oppose to the policies and changes, and it makes difficult for the formal organization to introduce them. Uh, Informal groups may be harmful at times. Goals of the informal groups are different from the formal organization, and members of a group may give more importance to their group goals rather than the organizational goals. The one of the disadvantage of informal organization is that it is unstructured. There is no structure in informal organization. People may take liberty and go beyond their limits and hurt the sentiments of their friends, which may affect their formal relationship also. Till now, students, we have studied about the types of organizations like formal and informal organizations, their meaning, their features, their advantages and disadvantages. Now we are going to compare these two on certain basis. Now, first of all, we should know the meaning of these two. The meaning of formal organization is that they are the structures which are created by the management. But informal organization, they are purely arises out of interaction among the employees. How they originate, how the formal organization originate. Originates as a result of companies' rules and policies. But the informal organization originates due to social interaction. People who are having common interest, hobbies, they may form a group. Now, the next base I'm going to take up is authority. By it arises by virtue of position in management. If you are working at a higher level, you may have more authority, and if you are working at a lower level, you may have a lesser authority. But in case of informal organization, no one has authority, and whatever authority is one is having is due to their personal qualities. Now, how they are going to behave in the organization. In formal organization, their behavior is guided by the rules framed by the organization. But in case of informal organization, they may behave in any manner. They don't have any set rules. Now, how the communication flows. In formal organization, the information flows through scalar chain, but in case of informal organization, there is no planned route. The people may communicate in any manner or in any direction they want to. As far as formal organization is concerned, there are a number of rules that are to be followed. Therefore, the nature of formal organization is quite rigid, but the informal organization is quite flexible. You can adjust it, you can just adjust it according to your needs and requirements. Now, who are the leaders here? In formal organization, managers are considered to be leaders, but there are no leaders in informal organization. Now, students, I think you must be knowing about the meaning of formal and informal organization, their features, their advantages and disadvantages, and also how to compare these two. Thanks for watching this video, and I think this is going to be quite helpful to you. Take care and stay at home. Thank you so much.